Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you is incredibly important, so please send this one out because all of the gaslighting and the propaganda on full blast that you're getting around Kamala Harris right now, because the media has turned on a dime, it's not all accurate. And I want to show you guys what's actually happening here versus the propaganda sugar high that the media is feeding you. Because if you believe what they're feeding you, you're toast, you're gone, your gun rights are gone, and there's no chance in hell for anybody else to even have a potential to win the presidency. I'm about to show you a whole lot of stuff from their own mouths. This is the polling. This is some of the background stuff that even the mainstream media is going, pump the brakes, Dems. Pump the brakes a little bit. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on if you want to spread these beautiful freedoms to the next generation like we do every single day. And thank you for that consideration. And the content today, guys, is brought to you by a company that is actually innovating in our space. This is from Key. Now, Key has made something that looks really familiar. You guys might recognize that, right? Wrong. This is actually an innovation. It turns every single AR into a bolt action if you desire or need it to. Now, the beautiful part about this is you can make this an application for hunting, an application for accuracy, an application for training. There are so many uses for this, and it is a complete drop-in system. No adjusting gas blocks, no changing anything, literally a drop-in and go. It becomes a bolt gun, which means you get to keep every single thing that they are trying to take away from you through the infringements in 13 of our 50 amazing states. The best part about this, a lot of the proceeds from this are actually going to the Second Amendment Foundation, which directly assault in the court system the very rules that make this thing a requirement. Check it out. Key is the name, and I know you guys will love it. And with that said, let's get to this content because this is one of those things, guys, that you have to understand the confluence of the political races that we watch and the 2A. They are not separate. They are completely linked. Okay, this is why we cover this. This is what Harris said yesterday. This should give you a good basis and understanding of why we focus and blend politics and 2A together for the outcome that's going to benefit us. Check this out.
We who believe that every person in our nation who should have the freedom to live safe from the terror of gun violence will finally pass red flag laws, universal background checks, and an assault weapons ban.
Well, get ready for about 3 months of that. So you have to understand, guys, and this is why we cover the things that we do. This is the element that we have to blend it together. You have to vote. And before I even show you the results and the things they're not trying to show you, understand everything that I'm about to address is not a guaranteed outcome. It's what can happen if you are active, if you take steps to register, if you vote. Quite literally, the gun world, the gun owners would have changed a many elections if the amount of them actually voted that was needed to just do it. Okay, enough of that. Enough of that. We don't need to hit that. This is from NBC. Okay, they're going to tell you about Kamala Harris in contrast to Biden and to Trump. Again, this is a little bit different than what you're hearing on the mainstream sugar high, right? Check this out.
If they do end up with Kamala Harris as their presidential candidate now, does it change the basic political realities they were worried about? So look at it this way. This is the average of all of the national polls conducted since that debate at the end of June that started all of this. And you see the average, Biden trailing Trump by 2 points nationally. Of course, very significant, not just that Biden was behind, but if you went back 4 years to 2020, there really was no point in the entire campaign when Biden trailed Trump in the national average. So that made that even more significant. But okay, since that debate, these polls have also started to ask, well, what about Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee, offering respondents that choice as well? And the polls that have tested both of them, here's the average for Harris versus Trump. Not much different. Harris does do a point better than Biden. 45 goes to 46, and the average Trump stays at 47. So at least at the beginning, if Democrats do go with Harris, they'd be taking a candidate trailing by 2 on average, replacing with a candidate who trails by 1 on average. Of course, the question is,
all right, I'm going to give him a pause for a second. But understand, that's not what the media is telling you. That's not what the Democrats are telling you. That's not what the politicians are telling you. They're telling you that Kamala Harris has us in the bag. They're using words like "08," the Obama coalition, forward. They took a step forward, which is the Hillary Clinton campaign slogan. Um, all of these things are all gaslighting. Okay. I just showed you, and it's still on the screen. 45 to 47 was Biden to Trump. 46 to 47 is Trump to Harris. They picked up 1 point in a generic election poll that they usually always win. All right, we're going to get to that in a second. Let me continue here because I want to show you the favorability and unfavorability that they're airing on NBC. Again, don't believe the propagandist. Check this out.
The introduction of Kamala Harris as a presidential candidate, the Democratic convention, the new attention on her, would that help those numbers? Would that improve them? Conversely, would that hurt those numbers potentially if the rollout doesn't go that well? Those are some of the variables, though, but that's the starting point on head to head. We also look at the basic image of each candidate when we ask the question, favorable or unfavorable view do you have? Again, the average for Joe Biden has been very bad, 36% favorable, 57% unfavorable. Now, Kamala Harris, where does she clock in here? Little bit better, but not much. 36 to 38 on the favorable side, and the unfavorable comes down 57 to 52. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, who she'd like to run against now, you see where he stands. These numbers are a bit better for him than they've been in the past. 41% favorable, 55 unfavorable. And
Okay, enough of that guy. And I got CNN on the next one. So, what I'm showing you right now is they went from 45-47 to 46-47 in general election. And then in the likability and approval rating, they went from 32. You know what? Let's just look at it again. It's better if I keep it on the screen. They went from 36 to 38, and Trump is still 3 points ahead. This stacks on what I've been telling you with the favorability versus unfavorability ratings in all the swing states. We've been hitting it on this channel and on Second Legacy. They're not telling you a whole lot in order to gaslight you into believing something that is not true. Discourage you, the gun rights owner and the gun rights person who might go out and vote, from voting because it's not what they're actually pushing. Okay? That's a big piece of this. Now, let's go to CNN. This happened today when they threw cold water, ice cold water, as Dr. Steve Turley mentioned. This is on his channel right here. A little shout out to him. This is what he played earlier. All right, check this out. This is CNN. I just couldn't find the individual clip, but he had it. So check this out.
We know that Donald Trump has historically been unpopular. But take a look now. After the Republican National Convention, in the ABC News Ipsos poll, he recorded his highest ever favorable rating at 40%. That's not a one-off. Take a look at the Quinnipiac University poll, 46%. That's the highest ever in that pollster. The fact is, Donald Trump is more popular now than he ever has been before. So yes, Democrats can make this switcheroo, but they're still going to have to beat Donald Trump, a Donald Trump who is stronger, Sarah, than he has ever been before.
It will be interesting to see how voters respond to all of this. Now, how is he doing relative to Harris, who did run at one point? What do those numbers look like?
Yeah, so let's take a look here, right?
So I'm going to pause that before we get into it because the next point is really important. So everything I just showed you on MSNBC, they picked up 2 favorability points with Biden from Harris from Biden, and they picked up 1 point on the general electorate. Now understand again, in the general electorate, the Democrats always win. CNN guy's about to tell us this. Check this out.
We've been focusing so much on how Harris was doing better than Biden in the polling. And that's true. If we take a look at the national average, what do we see? We see Donald Trump up by 1. That's a within the margin race, right? That's a close race. But remember, of course, in the national popular vote, Democrats tend to do better there than they've done in the Electoral College, at least when Donald Trump has been running for president. So last time around, when Joe Biden barely won in the Electoral College, he actually won the national popular vote by 4 points. So at this point, Donald Trump is running 5 points better. That's a 5 of some sort. 5 points better than he was 4 years ago against Joe Biden. So at this particular point, whether you look at the favorable ratings, whether you look at the horse race polling, we see that Donald Trump is doing significantly better than he was doing 4 years ago at this point. Kamala Harris is going to have to do better than this. Of course, if she wants to win the popular vote, but more than that, if she wants to win the Electoral College, where she'll likely have to outperform how she's done nationally, because the fact is, if you got to tie it in the national popular vote, that is probably not good enough if you're Kamala Harris and you want to win the election against Donald Trump.
Okay, so little ghost image of Steve Turley. Dr. Steve Turley, by the way, great channel if you want to check it out. But here's the bottom line, guys. I mean, this is as simple as it is. I wanted to make this video to show you that they are actively lying to you. They are 100% misleading you. They are telling you that Kamala Harris has raised more money than anyone has ever raised from grassroots. No, it wasn't. It was a progressive money laundering scheme, which was then bought out in individual little tiny increments, which made it look like that. It's not true. It was all the money from Biden that just went whoa boom because no one was giving Biden money. Then they've got the favorability ratings, unfavorability we just walked through. Then they've got the actual strongest point Trump's ever been politically, as you just saw, and the general vote of the electorate right now is +1 Trump. When Biden won last time, I know, just bear with me. I'm quoting what he said. When Biden won last time, he was +4. Currently, Trump is +1. It is not the race that they are trying to tell you that it is. They're trying to gaslight you. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.